Hello and welcome to the Advocacy Life blog and podcast network. I am your host, Mr. Kevin Nunez. I am thrilled you chose to spend a few minutes with me. I am the host of the Purposely Broken World. This program is designed to raise more questions than answers. Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans are diagnosed with some form of developmental disability? That makes me your new disability buddy. I created this program to make you think, laugh, love about society, culture, and faith. Things that all interact with each other on an everyday basis. If you want a fresh take on life, then enjoy the ride and see you soon. Hello, friends. Hello, family. Hello, people out there in podcast land. I've really missed you guys. I know it's been a long time since you've heard my voice, and when you're listening to it now, it probably sounds a little bit hoarse. Why it sounds hoarse, I'll get to in a little bit. But first, I want to thank you for your continued support, for all my creations, for all my blogs, all my podcasts, the kind of a life update of what Kevin has been up to, what Kevin has been doing the last 4 months or so. And I hate referring to myself in the third person. I don't know why I did that. I should cut that out, but I won't. In general, I think it's very important to start off this podcast by saying sometimes you make plans and then God has a bigger plan. And when you find out what that bigger plan is, you're amazed. So this is a summer of life, a summer of change, a summer of opportunity, a summer of failure, a summer of disappointments, a summer of sadness, a summer of joy. This has been a summer of life. Let me know in the comments what you did for this summer, what you had planned, what you did do, what you didn't do. Let me know what kind of topics you want me to cover on this podcast. I am working on, bringing out other guests in the next few podcasts, so stay tuned for that. But I really want this to be interactive as possible. So please, let me know what kind of topics you want to cover, what you guys want me to hear from me, all that good stuff coming up. So I'm going to start this in early mid-May. I was hanging out with my twin brother. Ironically, I was watching the old 1960s Speed Racer. I know it's really dumb, but it was free on Amazon, and there was nothing really good to watch on a Wednesday afternoon. We had just come from a medical appointment, and as anybody who has a disability knows, there comes a time when your caregiver needs a break. So you as the individual with disability kind of entertain yourself, if you can, just to give your caregiver a chance to relax for a second or two. There was nothing on TV, so we're watching Speed Racer, like I said, and my phone rings. It was after business, around 5:30 or so. I am a member of the New Jersey Council on Developmental Disabilities. So we have an executive director who kind of functions as a chief of staff, who kind of facilitates what the board of this New Jersey Council on Disabilities, wants to do. So she very rarely calls me after business hours. And I decided I wasn't going to pick it up. But then something told me, pick it up. And I'm like, really? It's after 5:30? You can go to voicemail. No. I had the inkling to pick this phone up because she never calls. We always do text or email. So I answered the phone, and it was a three-way conversation between her, myself, and the director of the National Councils on Disabilities, who oversees obviously all 56 um, U.S. states and 6 territories. I highly encourage you to reach out to your state um, disabilities council to educate and collaborate for your family and friends and get your voice heard. So, again, we did this three-way call, and it turned out they had a ceremony to celebrate the anniversary of the Olmstead decision. A quick little side note on what the Olmstead decision was. Two females back in 1999, so over 30 years ago, 1999, um, went to the Supreme Court and argued that they wanted to live in a less restricted environment. And the Supreme Court decided that they had the right to do so. Obviously, that's an oversimplification of the entire court process. I'll leave a Wikipedia note of the whole court case in the show notes, but so you can read more about it. But it was a landmark court case that allows people with disabilities to live where they want to live, based on their functionality, least restrictive environment, and overall safety. And so the White House was having this anniversary celebration, and they wanted me, little old me with the big old mouth, to speak at this event. Why me? I still don't know. I know there's like 1,000 other people that are more qualified than I am to speak at this event. Um, so, and the best part was, it was pretty much in less than 2 weeks, maybe a little more than 2 weeks. So there wasn't a lot of time to set this up. Luckily, God gifted me with this wonderful, amazing caregiver who I won't name just out of her own privacy and, protection. But I called her up. I said, "Oh my God, we have to talk because they invited me to go to the White House to speak. And I need you to help me, go and help me do daily tasks and get me ready to speak at the White House." Luckily, she was fantastic about it. We took her son for both physical and emotional support because he's the muscle behind the entire operation. And also, he's very good emotionally because we were kind of a wreck emotionally because it's not every day you get to speak at the White House. Even now, I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about it. There are some days in life that you don't even remember what you had for breakfast. You don't even remember your password to your email that you use every day. But there are some days that you remember every single moment. And that's how you know they're special. Hey, friends. Really quickly, I'm so sorry for interrupting the podcast, but I need to tell you how to support the Advocacy Life blog and podcast network. Yes, I have a few contributors, but basically it's just Jesus and I doing this thing together. So any donations will be greatly appreciated. You can do PayPal, Cash App, both linked in the bio. I published a book, Confessions from Disability Limbo, linked in the bio as well. Or finally, there is a paid newsletter, $5 a month, for those who want an extra bonus blog every Sunday. One last thing you can do is you can support the podcast directly through a link on the podcast itself and just leave a donation on the podcast itself if you just want to listen to the podcast. That's all I got. All links in the bio. Either way, thanks for your time. This is just value for value. If you like what I do, if you value what I do, then leave me a couple of dollars. If not, there's no obligation whatsoever. Thank you so much for your time. And now back to the show. And I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional right now, but mid-June of 2024, I don't want to say the date because of just YouTube and algorithms and whatever. So, mid-June of 2024. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be crying like a baby here. Well, not crying because guys don't cry, but, dusty for a second. I remember what I wore. I remember my dad went to the store and picked out a new shirt just for me to wear at this event. I have lots of suits that, as a guy, we just tend to rotate them for whatever because it's easy to dress up a guy. We don't always need a new dress. We just kind of rotate shirts and ties. And there you go. But he went to the store and got me a new shirt. Obviously blue because the administration was blue, so it seemed kind of appropriate. I did get a few texts from family members daring me to wear a red tie as a joke, but I said, not this time. And so I went there. Of course, I'll put the event in the show notes as well. It's also up on the website if you want to see the full event. I speak towards the end of it. I speak twice towards the end. My dad said that he saved the best for last. I don't know about that. I think that's just my dad being my dad. But the reason why it means so much was as a boy and as a man. Any boy, any man can make their mom, grandmas, sisters, aunts cry any day of the week. But when you as a grown man make your father cry, especially as a person with a disability, it means so much more. Because unlike most people, I can't score the winning basket at the buzzer. I'm not going to have a Fortune 500 company, pass down to my family, to my future kids. I'm not going to be the one taking care of my dad when he gets older. But knowing that he was watching this from his house and he was sending me videos of him and my brother crying. Now, again, I know my grandmother, my aunts, my mother were crying too, like babies. But it's something different when, your father, who is the one that works behind the scenes to make sure you live, actually open up and cry and tell you and let you see it. Because you never see your dad cry. You might see your mom cry once in a while as a kid, but see your father cry? No, that doesn't happen, like, ever. It's only happened like twice in my whole life, and the first time was because he was in massive physical pain. Anyway, then, so after the event, I remember going to the White House. I'm sorry. Let me back up. So I got dressed, and we had to roll or stroll to the White House because Obviously, there's no taxis or, you can't take the subway to the White House for obvious reasons. When I tell you, it was the most peaceful walk of my life. I'm not even lying. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, it was hot as balls. I'm sorry for saying balls, but it's my show. I can say balls. It was hot as balls. But it was amazing. It was just relaxing. And when we got there were other people with disabilities at the gate waiting to be let in. And yes, I did receive the program ahead of time. I did receive, all the notes ahead of time. So I knew they were going to be there. I knew that. But to actually see it and witness other people with disabilities at the White House gate ready to give a presentation was beyond anything, because usually, as a person with a disability who works on a state level, I tend to be, either one or two, no more than two, most of the time. A person with a disability who sits at the table. It's just the way of the world. It's not like a lot of us can go to these meetings, so a lot of times we have to represent an entire community. And obviously, I can't insert the audio from one YouTube clip to another. Because I'm sure the White House has the event copyrighted. But the idea that it was just at the White House, and I remember vividly. I kind of said as a joke when I wrote my first book that I spoke at the White House. I kind of put that in there as a joke because I, if you read the back cover, it said I spoke at the White House. I didn't at that time. I did that to kind of sell a few more books just to get people to buy it. I know I'm a false advertiser, but ironically, um, it happened. So God does give you the desires of your heart. God does give you your dreams coming true. It's just not when you expect them. A lot of people don't know this, but I've been working on my second book for about 3 years now, and I've been stuck because I didn't have an ending. And as of June 2024, now I do. So don't give up, folks. Don't let your dreams die, because it may not happen the way you want them to happen. It may not happen when you want them to happen. It'll happen when God allows it to happen. When after the event concluded, a lot of people stayed behind for pictures and such. And I got a few pictures, going in and before the event. But after the event, there's not too many pictures because I kind of wanted to get out of there early. Not early, but I wanted to get out of there quickly because I didn't want to spoil it with anything else happening. It was so beautiful and perfect. Um, you know, and it's nice to know that my life will never be perfect. I'm always gonna be sick with something. I was sick all summer long after the White House. Um, I've had respiratory issues pretty much since the moment I left the White House. My voice still isn't right. I basically couldn't breathe and I couldn't stop coughing for about 6, maybe 8 weeks. I'm just now starting to get better and like feel like myself. And I'm still not 100%. Because even last week, when I was supposed to record a podcast, it could be released by the September 15th date that I had set before all this happened, I passed the kidney stone. So I was in and out of the hospital or hospitals. There was more than one. Um, Basically the majority of the summer, and it wasn't fun at all. But it was the summer I went to the White House. It was the summer I had a perfect day. It was the summer I completed a goal that I never thought realistically I would have. It was the summer that a dream came true. It was the summer that I didn't give up. It was the summer that changed me for the better. Obviously, I had other plans for the summer. I was supposed to go back to the White House in like 2 weeks after that. Didn't happen. I was supposed to go to Decatur, Georgia. Didn't happen. For another advocacy thing. I was supposed to go back to the White House in early September. Didn't happen. I still couldn't breathe. But guess what? I spoke at the White House. No, I didn't meet President Biden. No, I didn't meet Vice President Kamala Harris. This was not a political event. This was an advocacy event to celebrate an achievement for individuals with disabilities. And the fact that little old me, who was 12 years old in 1989, 11? Yeah, I was 12 in 1999. Um, got to go and celebrate this event. Mind blown, spirit blown. Um, you know, this sounds cheesy. This sounds not even right. But give your heart to God and repent and let Him lead the way, because you'll go places you never could imagine. Is my life perfect? No. Because, like I said, the day afterwards, I was basically stopped breathing as soon as I got home. Um, I spent my birthday in the hospital. So, was it perfect? No, it was not perfect. Was it frustrating? Yes, it was a frustrating summer. Um, I spent my summer with the nebulizer treatments. I spent my summer in the hospitals, like I said. I spent my summer surrounded by family and friends. We didn't get to do anything fun. Basically, summer 2024 was my summer 2020. Granted, I didn't die, but there was a time there where it was like really scary. I'll just say that. But we are all chosen to do something. We are all given a gift to do something. But it's easy to give up and not finish the race. And my race isn't done yet. I still got work to go. But every once in a while, God gives us a little glimpse of what we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to be. So, if anything you take from this podcast is please don't give up. And please keep fighting. Because there's more out there than you can ever imagine. That's what I got for today's podcast, folks. I hope to see you back on September 5th. on October 15th is the next podcast, October 15th. So, thank you for listening. If you like and want to support the podcast, all the information is down below. If you subscribe to the bonus newsletter, you'll get this episode and other episodes earlier than the regular folks, than the regular public. So be sure to check it out at The Advocacy Life at WordPress.com. See you soon and have a great day. Wow, that was a really fun episode. Hope you guys come back. If you want to support once again, all you gotta do, Cash App, PayPal, or the link in the description in the bio. They're all there. Just click. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Thread, all that good stuff. All those links are in the bio. I will post them regularly. Podcast episodes come out twice a month on the 1st and 15th. And the blogs come out every Wednesday, give or take. See you soon. Thanks for the support. And bye.